Let's talk about golf, specifically putting. For like 100 years, it's been all about tradition, right? It's about feel and all those little rules of thumb that get passed down from one golfer to the next. It's basically an art form, a game of instinct.
But here's a wild thought. What if that entire foundation is just wrong? That's the big question we're diving into today. What if there's a better way to putt? One that's built not on generations of guesswork, but on cold, hard physics.
All right, so to really get where we're going with this, we've got to understand where we've been. For the last century, putting advice has pretty much been stuck in an echo chamber.
I mean, we're talking about the same ideas, the same drills, just passed down over and over again. And this created a system where feel was everything, but it was a feel that was totally disconnected from the actual science of how a golf ball rolls and falls into a cup.
And that brings us to what is probably the single biggest myth in all of putting, one that I guarantee almost every golfer has heard and probably tried to follow.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Never up, never in. The idea that you have to hit the ball hard enough so that it rolls, 10 or 15 centimeters past the hole. The thinking is that this gives the ball the best possible chance to fall in. And it kind of makes sense on the surface, doesn't it?
But let's just stop for a second and ask a super basic question. What is the actual force that pulls a golf ball down into the hole? It's definitely not the distance it rolls past it.
And boom, right here, this is the big disconnect. For decades, we've all been obsessed with the distance past the hole. But physics tells us the only thing that actually matters is the ball's speed right at the hole. Think about it. Gravity is what pulls the ball in, right? But gravity needs a chance to work. If the ball is zipping by too fast, gravity can't grab it.
So, if the old way is out, what's the new way? Well, this is where we get to shift from pure guesswork to a precise, measurable standard that works on any green, anywhere.
It all comes down to this one term, speed at the hole. See, unlike that whole centimeters past thing, which is totally useless without knowing how fast the greens are, this is a universal constant. It's the exact, perfect speed the ball needs to be traveling as it gets to the cup to give it the absolute best chance of dropping in.
And here is where it gets really mind-blowing. We can actually put a number on it. The ideal speed, the absolute magic window for a putt to drop, is between 3 and 4 revolutions per second, or RPS. So what on earth does that mean? Well, picture the logo on your golf ball. For that ball to have the best chance of falling in, that logo should be spinning end over end between 3 and 4 times every single second as it crosses the edge of the hole. It's not a vague feeling. It's a specific, measurable target.
And what happens if you miss this window? Well, if you're too slow, less than 3 RPS, the ball doesn't have enough oomph to hold its line against all the little bumps and imperfections on the green. And if you're too fast, that's when you get that heartbreaking lip out and a very long, stressful putt coming back.
Okay, the science is cool, I get it. But how in the world do you actually use this? How do you teach your body to feel what 3 to 4 revolutions per second is like? Well, let's look at a super simple but really powerful drill that does exactly that.
It's called the green speed equilibrium drill, and honestly, it's way simpler than it sounds. You just find a flat spot on the green, you hit 3 balls with what feels like the same stroke, but, and this is key, don't look up to see where they go. After that 3rd ball, you turn and look. If they're all clustered together at the same distance, congratulations, you've done it.
And what you've just done is pretty incredible. You've literally calibrated your brain to understand the exact amount of energy needed for a consistent roll on these specific greens, on this specific day. That becomes your baseline, your internal yardstick for every single putt you hit.
Okay, so you've got your internal speed gun calibrated for a straight putt. But what about those tricky breaking putts that snake across the green? This is where a little bit of technology comes in to connect that feel with undeniable fact.
And that's where the Puttalyze app comes in. Now, this isn't just some gimmick or another golf app. It's a full-on scientific simulation tool. It takes all the variables, the green speed, the slope, the distance, and it uses pure physics to calculate the true path the ball has to take to get to the hole at that perfect speed.
So what does it actually show you? Well, it instantly gives you the exact aim point, the distance point you need to hit the ball to, and it confirms that all-important target speed. Basically, it just removes all the guesswork from reading the green.
And just to be clear, this isn't an estimation. It's not a best guess. The whole thing is built on proven physics equations for a rolling ball, factoring in everything from kinetic energy to friction. The line you see on the app isn't a suggestion. It's a perfect representation of what physics demands.
So let's tie this all together. We've got the science, the drill, the app. What does this actually do for you out there on the course? How does it make you a better putter?
Well, it really transforms your putting in 3 huge ways. First is knowledge. You're completely replacing guesswork with measurable facts. Second, your instinct. That drill calibrates your brain so your natural instincts actually become accurate and repeatable. And finally, confidence. I mean, when your feel is backed by physics, you're going to have unshakable confidence over every putt.
And that's really the heart of it all. This system is about more than just a new technique. It's a completely new way of thinking. It helps you understand why the ball does what it does, which is so much more powerful than just knowing what to do.
Which brings us to this final idea, and it's a great way to think about it. This isn't about getting rid of feel and replacing it with science. It's about informing your feel with the undeniable truths of science so that what you feel on the green is a perfect match for what's actually happening. It's about feeling the science.